with UG Krishnamurti in Sydney on Friday, March the 16th, 1990. We're recording in his flat overlooking Darling Harbour, and there will be some traffic noise. All right, that's the end of the identification. UG, I'd like to probe further into the very essence that I sense you are saying, into the revolutionary and starkly uncompromising statement that there is no soul.
There is no self, there is no I, there is no spirit, there is no soul, there is no mind, there is no self. So that knocks off the whole list.
Right.
And what you are left with, you have no way of finding out what you are left with.
Right.
That's the situation. You may very well ask me the question, why do I go on telling people the way I am functioning? It is only to emphasize that we have been for centuries using some instrument, which is thinking or mind or whatever you want to call it, to free ourselves from the whole lot of things, the I, the self, the soul, the spirit, and all that kind of a thing. That's the whole spiritual quest is all about. And when once you see it dawns on you, how it dawned on me, I have no way of finding out for myself. So then these questions don't arise at all.
No, but there's still some questions that the human beings like to ask to see if we can find if there are answers to them.
The answers I give are only to emphasize that what we are left with is the functioning of this living organism. How it is functioning is all that I am trying to put across, emphasize and overemphasize all the time to somehow make you see that the whole attempt on our part to understand what we are left with is a lost battle.
Yes. Now, but I want to begin widely with this, if I can,
Right.
which is, the reality is that there is, as you're saying, that there is only the vast cosmos, only the natural world, and everything that lives on Earth, and that actually for the individual human being, that is for you and for me,
And for everybody.
and for everybody.
All right. You see, you have made a statement there.
But I haven't finished it.
All right.
There is only the physical body and nothing else. Is that
So even that statement cannot be experienced by what is left there.
Right.
And once the whole thing is flushed out of your system. So the statement that we are left with the physical body and only the universe, those statements also cannot stand anymore.
Right.
I don't know if I make myself clear.
I think you do, but I want to probe around it.
All right,
before.
yes.
Which
The
is-
more questions you throw at me, the more the need there is to emphasize the physical aspect of our existence and overemphasize even, that's my favorite word, all the time, that there is nothing to what we have been made to believe. All our problems have arisen because of our acceptance that it is possible for us to understand the reality of the world or the reality of our existence. What I am saying is, you have no way of experiencing anything that you do not know. So anything you experience through the help of the knowledge we have is fruitless.
Right.
Is a lost battle.
And you're saying then that there is no non-physical elements in the human makeup. No non-physical elements in the human makeup.
I'm not with you. What exactly do you mean by no non-physical?
Elements. I mean that it is all in the actual physical body and world as it is.
Yes, that is the reason why I say that the instrument which we are using to understand the reality of our existence and the reality of the world around us is not part of this mechanism that is there. So That is the reason why I say the thoughts are not self-generated, they are not spontaneous. There are no thoughts even there. If you want to find out if there is any such thing as a thought, the very question which we are posing to ourselves, that there is a thought, is born out of the assumption that there is a thought there. So what you will find out there is all about thought but not thought. All about thought is what is put in by the culture, what is put in by the people who are telling us that it is very essential for you to free yourself from whatever you are trying to free yourself from through that instrument. My interest is to emphasize that that is not the instrument and there is no other instrument. When once this hits you, dawns upon you that that is not the instrument and there is no other instrument, then there is no need for you to find out if any other instrument is necessary. No need for any other instrument. This very same structure which we are using, the instrument which we are using, has in a very ingenious way invented all kinds of things like intuition, like insight, like this, that and the other. And through this very insight that we think we have come to understand something, without the help of this intellect, without the help of our thinking, is the stumbling block. Yes. All insights, however extraordinary they may be, are worthless because it is that has created what we call, given us what we call the insight, and through that it is maintaining its continuity, it is maintaining its status quo.
I think I might understand that, but what I'm still wanting to pursue is the physical side of this, if I could, which is this, that clearly it's observable the human organs and their interrelated functions all work harmoniously in an integrated, healthy body.
Last of even that is not possible to experience and understand except through the knowledge that is given to us by the physiologists.
Or by our own observation?
But there is no such thing as your own observation. Your own observation is born out of the knowledge you have. This knowledge comes from the physiologists. This knowledge comes from those who have been involved in this medical technology, trying to find out how this is functioning, how the heart is functioning, how the whole lot of things that we have become familiar with through the help of what they have discovered is something which cannot be experienced by us.
Then you're saying really then that there's no such thing as direct, immediate experience?
No experience at all without the knowledge. That's all that I'm saying. There is no way you can experience the reality of anything except through the help of this knowledge. So what I'm saying is what you do not know, you cannot experience. What you cannot experience cannot be assumed that there is something beyond the mechanism of the experiencing structure. So in that sense there is no beyond. The beyond is projected by this to maintain its continuity.
Right, but I asked you this before. Is not there the experience of touch?
No. The only way you can experience the sense of touch is through this contact.
Yes.
That is what you call the sense of touch.
The sense of touch.
So you are bringing your finger here and touching it here.
Right.
So the eye is looking at it. It does not translate the movement of that as somebody who is putting his finger here to know what exactly happens when you touch this. So the eye cannot say that.
No.
The sense of touch does not translate for any reason unless you ask the question.
I'm suggesting something else.
The eye is looking at it.
No, I'm not looking at it. I can
You
feel
are not
it.
eye.
I can feel. I can feel without.
It is born out of your imagination and translation of this particular sensory touch within the framework of your past experience.
Right.
At this moment, if that is not translated as a soft touch or a hot touch, or even as a touch of your hand touching my wrist, you have no way of separating the two and experiencing that.
No way of separating the two.
When you, supposing you ask me the question, for whatever reason you want to know, the same knowledge you have is here in the computer. It comes out and tells me and tells you that you are touching this. The sense of touch is translating that as the soft touch of the friend who is sitting next to me.
Let me pursue it still a bit further.
Yes.
I might be walking along and I feel a breeze come. It's not me doing anything, but it's happening. It's coming the other way.
If you do not translate the breeze touching your body,
I can feel it though.
The feeling also is a thought. That's
what I've identified it as a
the
thought.
moment you separate yourself from the breeze, the translation of that sensory activity is translated within the framework of the knowledge.
Right.
I am not for a moment saying that you are the breeze.
Oh no.
What I am saying is
that you are affected by it.
How you are affected by also is, I know, all that you are saying is part of the knowledge we have. So otherwise there is no way you can separate the breeze and the body.
Right. So you're saying really that there is no such thing as new experience?
Not at all. Not at all. The demand to experience the same thing over and over and over again is the one that is wearing out the whole mechanism of memory for purposes for which it is not intended.
And you think it is possible for the human being to for memory not to be the operative factor in consciousness? Is it possible to, is there any consciousness?
No, I question consciousness because what we call consciousness is memory. You become conscious of something through the help of the knowledge we have, and that the knowledge is locked up in the memory.
Yes. Right.
You know? So the whole talk of subconscious, unconscious, and the levels of consciousness and all that is the ingenious invention of the thinking mechanism. Through this cleverness, ingenuity, it maintains its continuity.
Do you make any distinction between awareness and consciousness? Because
awareness has no meaning to me because awareness is not an instrument to be used to understand anything, much less to use that as an instrument to bring about a change there. Right. Because first of all, there is nothing there to be changed.
Yes.
And since there is nothing there to be changed, whether you use awareness or any other instrument to bring about a change is irrelevant.
Right.
So awareness can never be separated from the activity of the brain. Never be separated. So that is the reason why I always describe what is happening in physical terms.
Right.
So if you want to say this physical activity, this sensory activity, if I may put it that way, the reflection of that whatever it is on the retina is to experience that without naming. Right. You see this clever game we are playing with ourselves, that recognition is separate from naming. The recognition and naming are one and the same. So whether I name it or not, the very recognition of you as a man, that means the naming is already there, whether I use the word or not. So that is the reason why I point out to the people who say that the word is not the thing. The word is the thing. If the word is not the thing, what the hell it is? So it is all right for the philosophers to sit and discuss everlastingly that the world is not the thing. That implies that there is something there other than the world.
Yes.
So you cannot accept the fact that the word and this object that is there, even if you say it is an object without using the word table, means that there is a separation there. What I am trying to tell you is that the one thing I can tell you is how this division, separateness is occurring.
The separation is really the beginning of the duality. The duality. You and what it is.
No, I will never tell myself and tell you that I am the table. That's too absurd. Too absurd. So what I am saying is that there is no way you can separate yourself on your own free will and volition except when there is a demand from outside. You ask the question. See, what is that? So you and I have the same information in the memory. Whether you use French word, English word, German word, Latin word, it doesn't matter. The reference point is the table you are asking me about. So I say it is a table, it's a white table. So you and I have the same information. When that question is not there, I would at no time look at it and tell myself that it is a table. It does not mean that I am choicelessly aware of that. What is there is only the reflection of this object on the retina. Even this statement cannot be experienced by me because the stimulus and response is one unitary moment. The moment you see there is awareness, there is already a division.
Why do you assume that we maintain this division, this duality, this separation, this self, this I, this
that is the only way.
That
means you are coming to an end. The you as you know yourself, the you as you experience yourself, that you is the identity there. So through the constant demand of using the memory, it maintains its continuity. If that is not there, you don't know what will happen. So that is why the freedom from the known phrase is very attractive up to a point. See, when once you are free from the known, there is no way you can say anything about it.
Right.
So if I am listening to somebody like you talking about the need for freedom from the known, your emphasis that there is a need to free yourself from the known has already become part of it.
That's
This
right.
is the cleverest. This has survived for millions and millions of years. It knows every trick in the world. It will do anything to maintain its continuity.
So thinking has no place really in understanding.
There is no thinking at all.
Right. Now,
If there is no thinking, there is no thinker.
right.
If there is no thinker, there are no thoughts even. So you can't say that there are only thoughts and there is no thinker. The thoughts are not from here, they are coming from outside. The translation of a sensory perception within the framework of your experiencing structure is thought. So using those thoughts to achieve a goal.
You know, I've often wondered about this thinking, because thinking is itself sequential. We're sitting here in this room and it's all here, but if I think about it, I think thinking itself is time.
No, you can try that. I'm not your teacher. We are making...
No, I'm just wondering
No. You see, what is happening here is a mechanical thing. Like a computer, it is mechanically operating and trying to find out if there is any information there in the computer about what we are trying to say. Let me see.
Right.
Let me think. You are not, you see, let me think is just a statement you are making, but no further activity on the part of thinking is taking place there. You have an illusion that there is somebody who is thinking and bringing out. You see, this is no different from this extraordinary instrument we have, the word finder. So you press a button, and ready, it says. Then you ask for the word, searching, it says. That searching is thinking, but it's a mechanical process. That word finder, the computer, there is no thinker there. So when once it comes out, you think that's the product of thinking. That's the illusion there. There is no thinking there at all. If there is any information, it is working it out and throws out. You see, you know.
Yes.
That's all that is happening. It's a very, very mechanical thing. We are not ready to accept that it is so mechanical, because it knocks off the whole image we have that we are not just machines. It's an extraordinary machine. It's no different from the computers we have, which we are using, and but this is something living. You see, it has a living quality to it. It's a vitality. It's not just that mechanically repeating.
No, right.
It carries with it the life energy, like the current, and these are not two different things, but there they are two different things.
You know, one of the things that the human being normally goes on with is imagination.
Yes, the fact that you experience the totality of your body is born out of your imagination. Actually, there is no way you can experience the totality of the body.
But what people...
So what you experience, the heaviness of the body, is due to the gravitational pull. So the body's heaviness you experience. So sometimes when the thoughts are not in operation, in the case of everybody, the thoughts slow down. That's the time when you feel heavier than the heaviest object. You feel as if you weigh 640 kilos.
Yes.
Or suddenly you feel as if you are walking on the air. You know, these are all the actual functioning of the body, which they have described it in some spiritual terms and give so much importance to those things.
The people in this imagination area, they think that unfettered thinking, unfettered things sometimes can come up with new possibilities of ways in which you can live more fruitfully or more easily or more pleasurably in this earth.
Well, that's something that is not valid and true, that statement.
No, but this is what people assume, that if you have you can pick up what you'd like to do and then do it.
See, it works in, you know, we have a mathematical problem. We think we are thinking about a mechanical problem. You come out with an answer and say that this is the product of your thinking. So sometimes, you know, in your case, in the case of some people, that they exhaust all the possibilities, the variations and combinations of finding out the solution of a particular mathematical problem or a scientific problem. You go to sleep, you are tired, and you wake up, the answer is there. So it has a chance of working out on its own, because the demand to find the answer is not there anymore. It is not exhausting your energy. So you come out with the answer. See, that is possible only in the area of mechanical instruments, mechanical problems. That cannot help us to solve the living problems. There is no way we can use that to solve the human problems we have to do. That's why it has failed to solve our problems. It has not touched anything there. All our beliefs have not touched anything there. We don't know what we would do in a given situation. You can say that I am going to be a non-violent man. What I would do in a given situation, you will never know. The demand to be prepared for all actions in all situations is the cause of our misery. Every situation is different, and our preparedness to meet that situation with this knowledge we have of answering, dealing with those situations cannot help us.
Then what meets the living challenge?
I don't know the way you are putting
questions.
Yes.
You meet a new situation.
It is not a challenge. It is not a challenge. The inadequacy of using what you are preparing yourself and how to deal with this situation is absent.
Yes, right.
Huh?
Yes.
It ceases to be a challenge.
Oh, right.
Ceases to be a challenge. You know, that is why I say there are no problems there. We create the problems.
Yes.
If the solutions we are offered by those people are really not the solutions. If you don't have a problem, you will create a problem. So you cannot live without a problem.
That's right. But what you're saying in one sense is that the human being is really not different from the animal. Back to the
I must admit that probably we are far more evolved than the other animals. And that's an advantage to us.
In what way?
In functioning in a better way. I don't like to use the word better, more natural way. See, we are freed from the dangers or meeting the possibility of meeting with the end of us can be handled with a highly evolved structure which we are operating. I don't know. That is why what we call the psychic powers, the clairvoyance, clairaudience is there already in the animals.
Yes.
We also have them in us. In the case of some, for some reason, through their techniques of meditation, through all kinds of gimmicks, they slow down the thought. Then they experience these things temporarily, and they think that they are all spiritual experiences. So probably in our case, we see our mechanism is more sensitive, more sensitized than in the case of the animals. I don't know, so I cannot make any definitive statements.
Sure.
Because there is no way you can really understand how the animals are functioning. Really no way. And all these gimmicks, all these ideas of experiencing your birth again, rebirthing this, that and the other things, it's absolute rubbish because you are trying to go back to your time of your birth and experience your own birth from this point. So what you are experiencing is not the experience of your own birth, but from where you are, using all these experiences, you are coloring that and imagine that you are experiencing your own birth. This is good for marketing the rebirthing business.
Why do you think if the human being is more sensitive and has developed certain traits and qualities, why is it that we are such masterful destroyers of the earth, of the air and the water, and destroyers of ourselves?
As I said last time, this separateness from the totality of things around us, and the idea that the whole thing is created for our benefit, and that we are created for grander and nobler purpose than all the other species on this planet, is the cause of the destruction. And we have said, you see, this powerful use of thought. Thought is destructive. Thought is
in itself
a self-protective mechanism.
Yes.
So anything that is born out of thought is destructive. Whether it is a religious thought or a scientific thought or a political thought, all of them are destructive. So we are not ready to accept that thought is our enemy. And we don't know how to function in this world without the use of thought.
We don't know, that's right.
So we can invent all kinds of things and try to free yourself from the stranglehold of thought, but there is no way we can accept the fact that that is not the instrument to help us to function sanely and intelligently in this world. It's a self-protecting mechanism. Now it controls, molds, shapes our ideas and actions. Idea and action, they are one and the same. There is all our actions are born out of ideas. All ideas are thoughts passed down to us from generation to generation. Thought is not the instrument to help us to live in harmony with the life of us. That's why we will certainly create all these ecological problems, the problems of pollution, the problems of destroying ourselves through the most destructive weapons that we have invented so far. There is no way out. You may say that I am a pessimist, that I am a cynic, that I am this, that and the other, but I hope one day we will realize that the mistakes we have made will destroy everything. The planet is not in danger. We are in danger. We are in danger.
Yes. Now, if we are, then I want to get into another aspect of this, which would you say that the desire to survive, which seems to be the brain keeps the body and keeps it sensitive and awake and protects it.
Yes.
But where comes this desire to survive beyond the death of the body and its inevitable demise?
Because you know in a way that what you know of yourself is coming to an end. So you have lived 60, 70, 80, 100 years of life. You have gained so many experiences. You have achieved so many things. You have accomplished, attained so many things. Is that all? Is that coming to an end? Leaving behind nothing. So naturally, it creates something beyond.
Why do you think that then we have allowed an illusion, an unreality to persist in consciousness or in human thought or in human what is passed on?
You are not separate from illusion. You are the illusion.
Yes.
If the illusion goes, you think the illusion is gone, but it is always replaced with another illusion.
Right.
The ending of the illusion is the ending of you. That's the death.
Yes.
The ending of belief is the ending of you. That is death. So death is not the poetic, romantic death of dying to your yesterdays. Physical death is the only thing that will flush out what all culture has put in there.
Right. But in a small and minor way, I can see through an illusion that I might be holding and for it to die or fall away without reflection.
That is another illusion. The illusion is that the seeing is the end. There is no way you can separate yourself and see. But seeing is the illusion. The seer is the illusion.
Yes.
He tells himself that seeing is the ending, but it does not end. So the seer does not want to come to an end. The seer is the illusion. I don't know if it's not a metaphysical thing. The seer is the illusion. Through the invention of what is called seeing, the illusion is the ending. The seer is gathering momentum. He is continuing.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
The moment you want to see something, you have separated yourself from them. The seer has come into being, and through seeing, he is maintaining his continuity. That is why seeing has not helped us in any way. It has not ended anything.
All this leads me to ask you whether this dialogue, our talking together now, our interplay, or whatever you like to call it, is a physical exchange only? This interplay that's going on now?
I really don't want to repeat again and again. This is just a puppet. This is just a puppet sitting here. And
There's
you
a
are
puppet sitting here too.
Two puppets,
Yeah.
two computers, two tape recorders.
Yes, yes.
Playing.
Yes.
That's all.
But in a sense, what you're saying, in listening to you, there is a change in the.
No,
no change
not at
in
all.
no change.
You are not
in
even listening.
consciousness.
So there is no such thing as the art of listening. You are not listening. Listening is not in its interest. It is interpreting.
I'm aware of that, but surely there is, when you see that something is, I'm trying to put a key in the door and it's not fitting, then I'm aware that it's not working.
We don't have to use all those I'm aware of, this, that and the other. That is why what they call this Alzheimer's disease, which is hitting everybody.
Oh, yes.
I read in some magazine that it is hitting, it has hit already the famous musician, what is his name? Frank Sinatra.
Really?
Yes, it's there in one of your
Is he that old?
He's very young, 70s in his early
I thought that was supposed to be that.
So they
they
give this example, you see, of how does a person suffering from what is called Alzheimer's disease function. You have the key there in your hand, you don't know how to use the key and open the door.
Right. Now, if I can, this is a last question to you. Then really what you're saying is that the body has an enormous intelligence because all these functions go on into play beautifully.
In their own way.
In their own way.
And
Perfect.
our interest to teach the body something in which it is not interested in is creating problems to the body.
Right. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to?
To say what? We have said a lot now.
As you certainly have. You certainly
Yes.
have. But right back onto the physical again, though. It seems that actually there is nothing else but
To let
the sensitivity of the brain, the body, itself.
to leave it alone. If there is pain, you take some
Take nothing.
painkiller for a little. No, I'm not saying that you should do nothing and
Why not?
let the body suffer, you see, go through pain. If there is some
But
way
does
of...
it go through pain? Understand?
No, you see, but you are adding more to the pain actually.
Yeah, all right.
So as long as I am there, I might as well take a pill and free myself from the pain temporarily, because there is no special charm, spiritual or otherwise, to prove to ourselves and to others that we can endure pain. That's not what we are talking about.
No, I know.
So what all we can do is to leave that alone to its own functioning without interfering all the time. So we think we know a lot more. We think that we know what is good for that body.
Yes.
And that is why we are creating problems for that. It knows what it wants to know, so it doesn't want to know anything from us. It doesn't want to learn anything from us. If we understand this simple relationship that the thought and the body has, then probably it will allow it to function and use the thought only for functional purposes. It is functional in value and it cannot help us to achieve anything, any of the goals we have placed before us or the culture has placed before us.
You know, I have a feeling through many different sort of things that have happened, and I'm not bringing the past to prove this, but that really pain to me is that there is no such thing as physical pain.
No, it is a healer.
Yeah, that's
Pain
right.
is a healer, it's a healing process.
And it's the healing process.
It cannot heal itself. It goes away.
That's right.
So, but we are paranoid.
I think
We are over anxious to see that we don't suffer. I'm not saying that you should not take the help of any help that is available to us. There's no point in suffering. That's not what I'm saying. Not like these Christian scientists suffer and say, don't go to a doctor. It's not that I'm saying. So anything we say now, what we would do in a given situation is anybody's guess.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. How long?
38 minutes.
That's enough. You know, the problem with me and what the listeners of these radio interviews, television interviews in India and elsewhere feel is that there is no summing up.
That's right. Do you want to sum it up?
I don't want.
No,
I never do that.
No. That's right.
You know,
I just wondered
we
whether
just talk and leave it at that.
Yeah.
If they make some
I think
sense
that's
out of it,
exactly. Oh, I'm
let them
totally
make some
with you.
sense out of it. If they don't, my interest is not only here, when I meet people and talk to them, I wish they wouldn't remember anything that we discussed.
Right.
Go out without anything.
Yes.
If you remember anything, it's lost. It's lost. We really, not that it is something in a mysterious way it is affecting us. There is something affecting the whole of human consciousness. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
I really do think, if I may, just that the pain really is. Oh, I'm sure.
It is trying to heal itself.
I'm sure it is.
If
But
it
I don't
cannot,
know why. I'm not contradicting what you said, or even trying to. But because the pain is already in the body. It's already in.
it's there.
So
Some
I don't know.
disequilibrium.
So I don't know why. I have found really over about 20 years now, literally, that whenever pain comes, I just
No matter
let it
what.
happen. Because it's already here. It's not a matter of why. So I think that I have not had it. I've had, you have teeth drilled and all sorts of things now. I never had anything. It doesn't happen yet. So strangely.
But what I'm suggesting is that there is no special charm in suffering. If there is any,
I said there's no suffering, is what I'm saying. There is no suffering.
If some
No pain.
helping hand can be given to make it a little bit bearable, I don't see any point in
I'm with you on that.
suffering. That's all I'm saying.
But come back, please. If the pain is already, it's in your knee or your back or your head or wherever, it's already
May I
there.
say something? Anything we discuss about pain has no meaning because we are not having pain at this time. Then we wouldn't discuss. Some action is there.
When I say the action is, you don't have to do any
No,
other
you
action.
don't have to run there to the doctor or
No, I
anything.
don't- no, nothing.
Nothing. I don't rush to a doctor, you see, all the time. Maybe when time comes when tooth have to be replaced, then we see there is no special charm in going around a toothless man. I don't see any point. And you know.
Quite right.
Right, thank you. Now, enough, Julie. 38 minutes we talked.
41.
Oh, you-
41.
It's just gone up to 41.
Come on, let us see before what you have made out of that.
Cut.
Cut. I don't say anything new anytime. Same thing, repeat again.
Okay.